Hello Warriors, Sword Prepper here. We've got a few things to talk about today, and I think they're all topics that are worth talking about. First, we've got Hurricane Ian. We've been covering that on the channel for the last few episodes, and apparently it's made landfall. It made landfall Wednesday, I believe, 3 o'clock. It hit as a Category 4, which is quite devastating. It brought in a lot of flooding to Florida. It's been a lot of Fort Myers, I believe, is a few of the it's underwater, not like flooded like no one can be there, but it's flooded as far as flooding goes. It's pretty flooded. There's been millions of people are now without power, and hundreds of thousands are without a home. So it's getting pretty bad down there, and it's worth noting that these people are gonna suffer for a while, and without insurance, without a prepping plan, without some sort of readiness plan, these people are probably gonna be in for a few months of frustration, a few months of direness, a few months of things that aren't going to look very good to them. They're going to have to go through the rough of it because they didn't prepare. And I'm not blaming these people. I'm not cursing them out or anything. But if they had prepared, then their state of mind would be a lot calmer, and their state of being would be a lot better. But they didn't have anything. So, in other news. Apparently your best friend, I know you all love Biden, he's your best friend. Your best friend Biden has apparently approved 1.1 billion in aid to Ukraine. So yeah, that's on top of the other billions we've already sent over there. He's approved another 1.1 billion in aid to Ukraine. So there's that. And we've also got the U.S. Embassy is warning people to get out of Russia. I mean, they've already said that a few times. They've issued a warning a few times to the people, U.S. citizens, that they should probably leave Russia. And frankly, I don't know why there would even be any more U.S. citizens over there. It doesn't make any sense to me why someone seeing what's going on would still choose to go to Russia. But that's either here or there. The U.S. Embassy has now issued a stark warning telling the people to leave Russia. Alright guys, you better get out. Things are getting kind of crazy. The threat of a nuclear conflict is becoming all too real, and you should probably leave as soon as you can. That's what they're saying now. So that's what's in the news, and I want to pretty much give a little brief as to what I think is going on, and as to what I think people should be doing, seeing this happening. You all know what I'm going to say. Yes, prepare. You should all be preparing for this, and we should all be ready for this. The fact that the U.S. Embassy is now coming out and saying, "Yeah, guys, time to leave," is a warning. It's a stark warning, and it's something that we should pay attention to. It's something that we should take as a step further in this whole thing. China sailed a warship, like 70 some miles, from beside the U.S. I forget which coast it was off of, but they did that. So this thing is escalating by the week, on a weekly basis. It's actually escalating on a daily basis, but for the sake of argument, I'm going to say on a weekly basis. Things are getting worse and worse on a weekly basis. It's time to prepare, guys. It's time to go ahead and decide whether you're going to put your money into your next vacation, or whether you're going to put your money into life insurance. True life insurance. The life insurance that our forefathers had. Because I guarantee you, the life insurance of today is very different than the life insurance of our forefathers. Excuse me, my nose is kind of stuffy right now. I'm trying to deal with that. But our forefathers, they didn't go down to the insurance building and pay thousands of dollars for life insurance. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. There is nothing wrong with that, I don't think. But their life insurance was their preps. Their life insurance was their gardens. Their life insurance was their homestead. That's what they viewed as life insurance, and that's what they viewed as inheritance. If they had a bad year of crops, well then they felt that. And that was their version of having a rough week of finding no work. That's what theirs was. Today we look at life insurance as paying somebody else that has nothing to do with us except in writing to do what to life and to give us insurance of, yeah, we'll cover your expenses if you have to go to a hospital. You know, if you break a toe, we'll cover that too. But you know, if you have a heart attack and you have to have a major procedure, a major surgery, well, we won't cover that. You'll have to pay for that on your own. That's what insurance is today. That's what health insurance is today. But it wasn't for our forefathers. Our forefathers made their own insurance. They roughed it on their own. And apparently they survived well enough because humanity still exists, and their children were able to build the society we now live in, which is much less favorable, in my opinion, than the society they lived in. So Biden approves $1.1 billion to Ukraine, which means that this war is not over and is nowhere close to ending. Most people's view of war is what they've seen on TV. Most people's view of war is what they've seen on their favorite movie, where the war starts and within 2 hours it's over. The hero goes in, he does his thing, and he roughs it. Perhaps he gets shot, but he still goes on and he de-arms the opposing threat, and he settles the war. That's what most people's view, that's what the public's view of war is. And that's so wrong. Maybe it's a TV show and the war takes about, 5-6 episodes from start to finish. And that's what your average person's view of war is. And that is not what war is whatsoever. That's not how things go down whatsoever. Your average war takes years. That's on average. Your average, okay. And I'm not talking about, swords and stuff. I'm talking about a today war where you've got guns and tanks and men on each side and people negotiating and their different towers and stuff over comms. Those sort of wars take at least a year or some. If it's over in months, then that was a very, very quick war. If it ends in a few months, 9 months, then that was a very, very quick war. That's not what a war is. So this Ukraine war, this Russian war, Ukraine versus Russia, is escalating, and it's not reached its peak. If you think you've seen its peak so far, then you're wrong. It's going to escalate. Putin has said on a scale, he said several times that he is willing to use detrimental force. He is willing to go ahead and use, I won't say nukes, but he has said he's willing to use whatever means is necessary to protect his people and to ensure the safety of Russia. These are things he has said already. And then we have Biden, who nobody takes seriously, talking about how he is willing to retaliate. How the US is willing to retaliate and use things that are just as strong as what or not even, or even if even stronger than what Putin is willing to use. So we've got all this stuff brewing. We've got China. Go ahead. China's now sailing ships and surrounding the Taiwan. They're using fishermen's boats and all manner of things to ensure they've surrounded the place. And this could be a rumor because I haven't really seen much on it. I've seen a few articles and I've seen a few things on it, but I haven't seen real proof of it. But I think it's worth mentioning. Apparently, they have surrounded Taiwan, and they're using fishermen ships to do so. There was that rumor that the president, I'll say president of China was dethroned, but that was, of course, not true. That's why I never covered it, because it was a little too comical to be true, and I knew from the beginning that was someone's rumor that they made up. But there's that. Guys, it's time to get serious. Warriors, it's time to gird yourselves. It's time to decide what side you're on. Because things are not looking good. And if you're still sitting around planning your next vacation, then something's not clicking up here. If you're sitting around planning your next cruise instead of being serious about what's going on, then something's not right. It's time to get serious. It's time to gird your sword. It's time to gird your armor and be ready. The time for preparing is almost up. The time for doing the things. That is what time it is. I cannot urge you enough. I cannot empower you enough. I cannot try and bring my point across enough to how important it is that you prepare yourself. How important it is that you get yourself ready. Because things are going to drop in the blink of an eye. Things are going to become worse than you can imagine in the blink of an eye. If you think Putin is joking about the things he's willing to do, the material he's willing to use to ensure Russia's safety, then you are sadly mistaken. This man is a serious man. Putin is he's not like Biden. He's not like the puppets in the White House. No, this man is serious about what he's doing. And if his whole onslaught that he's done to Ukraine hasn't told you that this man is serious about what he says, then I don't know what's going to prove that. But it's time to get ready. There's too many things happening all at once. There's too much chaos happening all at once. Several professionals have predicted that there's going to be another world war. And to think that there won't be is foolish. Because read in your history books and read the preludes to World War II. Read the preludes to World War I. The same exact things are happening now. Things are ratcheting up in the same manner as they did back then. But as you know, it's New Age, so things are going to look a bit different. But if you read how the things happened and what led up to the wars, the same things are happening today. The same sort of chit-chatter, the same sort of you do this, I'll do this, you do that, I'll do this, banter that these nations do before a full-out war breaks out is happening now. This is going to escalate. People, I can't warn you enough. Time to get ready. Time to get your houses in order. Alright, warriors. Stay out of the heat. Keep prepping. And I'll see you on the line of battle.